Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are celebrating Kiki and her 500 subscribers. I went and found this layout of hers. It's got a little bit of mixed media, lots of paper layers on it, and some decoration over here in this corner. Now I am going to be using two photographs. This is from a parade on Main Street, USA from Walt Disney World in 2017. I'm working through getting that album finished so I can move on to the other Disney projects. So let's see what I can do. All right, so just like Kiki, I'm going to go ahead and start out with some white cardstock as my base. Now I do trim one of the photos down to 4x4, and I also trim this other photo down to 3 3/4 by 6. And I did that because my scrap piece of black cardstock that I was using was actually 4 inches wide. And since there wasn't anything too terribly important on that 1/4 of an inch of photograph, I just decided to go ahead and trim down the photo instead of cutting out another sheet of black cardstock. Now I did kind of stretch that striped paper right there by tearing it in half. You're never going to notice or know that the striped paper is torn apart unless you get in there and tear apart my layout, or you're one of the few people that will look at my albums and watch my videos. So I am going to just go ahead and trim off this little piece of paper that says I love parades, because I didn't want to accidentally use the other side of the paper on my layout. I want my title to be I love parades. I'm trying out other pieces of paper that I have in my Kill a Kit with Style, and I decide that I'm going to go ahead and have some fireworks pattern paper going on over here. Now, if you can hear the noise in the background, you guys, I'm sorry. My son is home on leave right now, and he and my husband are working on his car in the garage. And you know, there are just times where I have to get voiceovers done and I can't go out there and ask them to stop working on the car. Like, I just can't do it. So if you're hearing that right there, that's what that is. I am going to take this polka dotted paper now and go ahead and place it across this page here, or this part here, I should say. And you guys, in her layout, she inked the edges of her paper, and she also had mixed media. Now, I am going to say that I do not ink the edges of my paper, and I don't even add the mixed media, even though they're just very rare little splatters about the page. And that is because, you know, I'm really liking this as a clean layout. And clean where I mean like a crisp white background with my papers on top of it. Not that I am finished with mixed media. Guys, don't think that at all. I love me some mixed media. But in this case, I just decided with this layout, I didn't want to have it. And then since I decided that, I decided to really go forth full force with the fireworks kind of motif here on the layout. And that might seem weird that I'm doing that when this is a daytime parade, but just bear with me. Just bear with me. So I'm going to go ahead and keep filling in and putting layers on this page. And I'm not really paying attention to the way Kiki did her layers anymore. I'm just paying attention to the fact that she had these kind of layers on her layout. Now, I do need to create something over here in the left-hand corner of the page, and when I saw her layout, my original idea was to put one of the mini castle stickers or chipboards or something over here on that left top part of the page. However, my stack of papers and photos ended up being a little bit larger and a little bit wider than I was expecting. So when I popped out the chipboard up there, it just didn't feel right. It felt it just felt wrong. The sizing was off, the spacing was off, it just felt wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this chipboard because there is no adhesive. And then I'm going to tuck it underneath of the I Love Parades title here. Now this is a tiny little title for most of what I do. And that is okay. I'm not like worried about that. It's not stressing me out that I have a tiny little title. Sometimes my titles are tiny little titles. Normally they're not, but you know, sometimes it's good to break up the monotony a little bit. So I am going to create a cluster up here on the left upper corner of the layout. And I do that with some of this firework paper and then a little bit more of this striped paper. I am going to add a little something over here, and I decide to do kind of like this newsprint I love this place chipboard piece. I'm going to put it towards the bottom, and this is where I'm really going to bring in the fireworks. So I'm going to look for my sticker book, which had decided to hide itself underneath of my trimmer. And then I'm going to start putting the firework stickers on the layout. So it's just a matter of where I want them to go and what I think looks good. So I do put one out here, and then I'm going to bring in 2 more so that there will be 3 fireworks. And I do that because that kind of looks like, you know, sort of like a weird Mickey head. And that's the reason why I decided to go with the 3 fireworks. Now, I was doing the same thing over here to the left of the castle, and ultimately I did not like that. It didn't feel as natural and look as good as what happened in the upper left-hand corner. So I went ahead and moved that tiny little firework, which accidentally tore my paper. Oops, but I just went with it. I placed that tiny little firework over the I Love Parades title. Now I am going to add a little bit of a foam square underneath of that firework because it does have sticky to it and it kind of falls down and sticks to my photo, and I don't want it to be leaning back. I want my firework to be the same exact height as my title. Now I grow into my stash, deep into my stash for these My Mind's Eye enamel dots, and I'm going to put them in the centers of all of the fireworks. Now, I thought I had the perfect amount, which I ultimately do, but I don't like the placement of where I had them. So I do have to adjust them a little bit so that they look a little bit better. And then there's that little foam square that I'm going to add to the bottom here. Now I did think about doing a doodly border around the outside of this layout, but like I said, I really actually am loving this clean look with this stack of papers. So that is going to do it, guys. Make sure you click on the links down below and hop along to celebrate Kiki and her 500 subscribers. Way to go, girl. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you again real soon for another video.